Hi there. Hello everybody, it's Colleen with Chalk Couture. How's everybody doing tonight? It's Friday. I'm so excited. Whew, it was a long day. I was super busy at work. Isn't that funny how sometimes when you are so super busy you think, oh my gosh, the day's just gonna fly by? And for the most part it did in the morning, and then at lunchtime it just seemed like everything just started slowing down time-wise. I guess maybe because I was clock watching, I'm not real sure, but woo, yeah, it was a long afternoon. But work day is done. We're gonna have some crafting fun with Chalk Couture. I'm just going to go ahead and get this shared, not saved. I don't know why I said saved. Okay, we are shared and we are ready to rock and roll. So let me just slide this in case anybody has any comments. So hello again. Thank you for watching my video. I appreciate it. And let me get it right out of the bat right in the beginning. If you're watching from a mobile device and you're not currently a designer, I would be so happy if you could hit that little share button down there in the bottom left hand of your mobile device. It's right there. It looks like that, the little share button. So I appreciate that. That helps to get the Chalk Couture love out there and get it known, you know. Share the love. So we are going to do Fresh Catch. Isn't this super adorable? I love it. So I'm just prepping my chalk before we get going. Just adding a little bit of water just to get my chalk paste to that nice yogurt-like consistency. So the chalk paste that I'm using for tonight's project, well, you see it's a lobster, so definitely we have to go with our candy apple red. That's kind of a no-brainer. I'm going to use a little bit of our bright white, and then I'm also going to use some of our storm, aka gray. And well, we're going to make it work. This should be plenty to get my lobster done, because we are hitting the bottom of the barrel here. I keep saying that, but all my chalk paste seem to be getting very low on me all at once. Okay, so again, we're just spritzing in a little water, stirring it up to get that nice yogurt or cake batter like consistency, and that helps to get the chalk paste right through that silkscreen area. So here, there's a lot of pieces to this. It's not just lobster, guys. There's a crab and crab company. There's some of the knots, and then they've got cute little anchor here, established 1948. But for today's project, we're going to be working with the happy little lobster here. So, and then it says New England Lobster Company served fresh daily. So I'm going to try to squeeze all that in on here. And I'm using our Aiden board again. If you caught my live last night, I used the Aiden board last night. I'm using it again. So I think what I'm going to do is try to get New England up here. So what we always want to do when we have new transfers, because they are sticky back reusable transfers, we want to go ahead and get those fuzzed up. So let's get the pieces off. They're all labeled on the back so that when we're done we can return it to its carrier sheet. So we're going to get these. I'm going to do the smaller ones first. Let's get them all on the towel at the same time, and then we'll come in and we'll get our little cute little lobster on here. So let's get them all fuzzing together. Bring it down here. Whoop. Now I'm just throwing things all over my desk. Okay, so usually I pick it up and put it down 3 times just to get a good amount of fuzz on there. Oop, careful, I almost hit it. I don't want to get them stuck to each other, so I kind of was like a little rough today, throwing things around. I have to kind of do pay attention to what I'm doing here and not get them stuck. Now that one I did just get stuck to itself, but I just peeled it apart. If that ever happens, that's a good opportunity for me to bring that up. If it ever happens where they stick to themselves, just get it right into cold water as quickly as you can, and then let it sit in the cold water, and then slowly pry it apart. That's all you need to do. Okay, so I'm just going to try to get this up as high as I can up here at the top. So I'm just kind of squeaking it in right there. And I think what I'll do is, I think I'm going to do the New England and serving fresh daily in white. Clearly the lobster will be red. And then I'll do Lobster Company in the storm, aka gray. So let's go ahead and get a squeegee, and let's get our bright white chalk paste. I'm gonna make quick work of this, guys. This is super easy. So let me pull that out. Let me bring this down. Hi, Tia. How are you? So again, we're only concerned about the silkscreen area. Happy Friday, Tia. Hope you're having a great one. Woohoo! Let's bring on the weekend. All right. So I have a lot of chalk paste on there. I didn't really need all that. So and I don't want like to waste any. So we're just going to come back in and scoop off all of that chalk paste that's extra. And then I'll put my squeegee to the side because I'm going to need that again when we get down towards the bottom. So remember, pulling your transfer, you're going to pull top to bottom or left to right. So there's New England. We're going to pop this right into our pan of water that I have over here to the side. Nothing fancy. It's a dollar store bin. That's all it is. I'm going to give this a quick heat. This is not making it permanent. We are using chalk paste. This is simply drying or speeding up the drying process so that I can move right along to my next pieces. So I need to get lobster. Got some white chalk boogies. Okay, I need to get Lobster Company in here, and I also need to get Served Fresh Daily in here. So I'm going to put Served Fresh Daily kind of close down here at the bottom. Ooh, was I? Hopefully I was not. I don't know how straight that is. I kind of just measure with my hands. That looks pretty straight. Okay, so we're going to do the Serve Fresh Daily down there. And then we're going to do the Lobster Company. Now, I do have a pretty thick piece of the teal here. So what I'll do is, because it's kind of overlapping, so I'll probably work backwards down here. But the thing that I'm looking for right now, and I'm not sticking this, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And the reason I'm not laying this down, just gingerly laid it on top. The reason that I'm doing that is because my lobster, I want to make sure my lobster fits in here and I'm not going to go over anything. So let's go ahead and get our lobster fuzzed. Again, oh, no, made a liar out of me. That's not labeled. Let's grab a marker. It's very important to do that so that we don't accidentally put our transfer back on the paper side. Whew, I have done that. It's not pretty. So that one quick little step there helps to avoid that catastrophe. Okay, I just had my fuzzing cloth. I had it on my lap, and then I thought, why do I have it on my lap? You guys can't see what I'm doing. So let's bring it back up here. We're just going to fuzz this 3 times. 3 times the charm. And now that we have the top done, I can kind of make sure my lobster's going to fit here. This is a C size transfer, and typically we have no problem getting B size transfers to fit on our 9x12 8-in, but I'm going to make this C size transfer fit here, and it will do. It will fit perfect, I guarantee you. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm straight, or as straight as I can, eyeballing it. Okay, so let's see. I can see New England under there. I can see that his little crabby hands are right at the bottom of it, and his little, I don't know what they are, tentacle thingies are kind of going off to the side. So we're good. We've got plenty of space. So now I know that Lobster Company is going to fit in here perfectly and serve fresh. So I'm just going to move the Lobster Company for just a hot second, and I want to make sure that I am putting this down better because I can see some bubbles, and we do not like bubbles in our silkscreen area. So I'm just going to use my squeegee to kind of help me press out some of those bubbles. Okay, I'm being careful with the transfer that's now laying over top of New England because it's sticky. I don't want to accidentally pull up some of my chalk paste. So we're just kind of getting in there with our squeegee just like that and getting all those bubbles out. Perfect. Okay, now you can hold your board up at an angle, and you'll definitely be able to see in the silkscreen areas if there's bubbles, and I can see bubbles right there. So I want to pull this down again real quick and just press out those bubbles. Just like that. Now I'm going to pick it up again, and the bubbles are gone. That easy. That's all you need is your squeegee. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this candy apple red stirred back up again. I'm just going to plop down some color here. Plop, plop, plop. And then we're going to use our squeegee and make quick work of covering just the silkscreen area. That's all you need to worry about. Okay. So easy, right guys? And there, look like a bubble. Did I miss a bubble right there? Oh, goodness. Hopefully I didn't have one, but we'll see. All right, so I'm just applying a little bit of pressure this time with my squeegee and just trying to get any lines that I had in there out of the silkscreen area and any excess that I have right back into my jar, which I kind of plopped down pretty good. Oh, I see a little boo-boo here. I plopped down, looks like just the right amount, so that was good. Remember, we want to make sure we're not letting this paste dry on here, because when we pull back our transfer, guess what? Our paste is going to come with it. So, voila. There's little lobster man. It looks awesome. I'm just putting that transfer now into the pan of water. We are done with our red. So whenever we're done with the color, I like to just go ahead and close it up. So that way, and I don't need that squeegee because we're done with red. This way our chalk paste will not dry out on us. And now we can give this a quick little heat setting here. Just to dry it along, just to help speed up the drying process. Isn't the red really pretty on the whiteboard? I love it. And there are imperfections. They're supposed to be there. So if you look at the transfer, you'll see that detailing in the silk screen. That is supposed to be there. So don't think, oh my gosh, I missed a spot, I missed a spot. You didn't. It's in there. So no worries. Completely dry. I can run my hands all over it. I'm going to come back down here and now just finish up with our served fresh in the white. Real quick. See how fast that is? Those little ones, they're so quick. Okay, any excess back in. And there we have it. Now I'm done with my white. I'm going to throw that into the pan as well. Everything just gets thrown into the pan until we clean it at the end. And I'm going to show you guys how to clean. I always like to show the entire process. So again, pull your transfer left to right or top to bottom. There we go. And you can see the detail in there. It's supposed to be like, well, this one's kind of a small one to show you. I'll show you on the lobster when we've got it cleaned what I'm talking about, how it's made to be distressed like that. Let's dry this off and we've got one more piece and we're done. How cute is this for a little beach house? That should be good. Now we can bring back in the lobster company, and that will fit, because we measured, that will fit perfectly right between. And we're going to do that, like I said, in our storm color. And as I mentioned, this is our amazing 8-in board. It's 9x12 designer board. It's magnetic, which is pretty flippin' awesome. So that if I wanted to, I could put little magnets on here, little pictures or things like that with magnets. And they're guaranteed for 50 years. Pretty cool. And they're porcelain steel chalkboards. That's the actual technical. It's not just a chalkboard. So let's get that excess back off. And we are just about done. I'm going to throw my squeegee in, throw my steri stick. Everything is reusable. All your squeegees, your steri sticks, your fuzzing cloth. You can just throw it in the wash, clean it up if you'd like. Oh, I'm glad I went with the storm in there. I really like that little contrast there. That's it, guys. How lightning fast of a project was that tonight? Super cute. Get some chocolate. And we are all dry. We can rub our hands all over this. This is not going anywhere. Just make sure that's dry. Yes, it is. Got a little boogie. Completely dry. Not going anywhere until I decide that my friendly little lobster here, it's time to change him out. And I just use a little bit of water, spritz the water on there, let it sit for a minute or two, because the water will start to loosen up the chalk. Simply wash it off with a paper towel, and then I can design another beautiful masterpiece on here. How fun. Let's slide our little lobster friend down for a second, and we're going to bring in that bucket that I kept mentioning to you that I was throwing all my tools and my transfers into. So there's my bucket. Here's my towel. It's just a ratty old towel. You can see I've got all different chalk paste colors on it. So I'm going to make quick work of cleaning up. It's really important, I think, I highly recommend that you clean your transfers right away. Don't let them sit. Because, oops, I must have hit a stirry stick and got red all over this. Because it's going to be harder for you to get the chalk paste out if you let them sit. And I would hate for, you know, you to have dry, crusty chalk stuck in your silk screen and clogging it, when all you need to do is just clean it real quick, right? It doesn't take that long. You can do it with your hands. You can do it with the board eraser if you prefer. It's not a requirement, but it's nice to have the... I always say that. It's like you can't do a job as well as you would like without the proper tools. So that's why we have the tools that are perfect for this, because it makes quick work of cleanup and all. But like I said, not a big deal if you don't. In this case, you can just use your hands. Just make sure you're getting all that chalk off of all the sides and all the little crevices. I'm just trying to get the little tools out of the way first so that we have room for the big lobster here. It's okay for it to get squished around in here. It's not sticky now that it's in the water. So the transfer loses its stickiness in here. But it's okay. See how they're stuck together? It's okay because they lost their sticky. So usually when I have a lot of little pieces and I'm throwing a transfer in like this, I usually push it to the bottom like that. And then that way I can keep throwing more and more in here. And I know that the back of the transfer is soaking wet and not sticky any longer, so that I won't have any issues with them sticking together. All right, we are almost done. We've got one more, I think, one more piece. I think I got all my tools out of here. All right. And then this is just safe to run right in your sink and just drain all your water. And then I just kind of try to clean off my board eraser as best I can. That thing I will have until it's falling apart, and it will keep on working. The other nice part about the board erasers is that I keep one dry, and then that way I use that one to clean my board. If I ever have any ghosting that's left by some of the chalk residue sometimes, I'll use the board. Now look how on this squeegee that's stained, but watch, let me grab my wipe. Let me see if this one's kind of dry, but if you grab your wipe and use it, it gets the staining off. So no worries, just use the disinfectant wipe and that will help any staining on your squeegee if that happens. And then I might as well just finish it out for my little stirry sticks. They can go to the side. And now what we do, final step, I'm going to just use that paper towel again to get the excess off the back, any excess water. And I'm going to grab a new disinfectant wipe because that one feels like it's getting a little bit dry. And I know that I used my candy apple red on the lobster, so I'm going to use a new wipe just to try to get some of that staining off of the front. But know that when you use darker chalk paste or inks, they will stain your transfer, and that's okay. But so long as you're getting it off, there wasn't very much red on there, so long as you're getting it all out of the silkscreen area, you are good to go. So we usually start on the side that we chalked on and then flip it to the side that is sticky. It's starting to get its stickiness back now. Once it starts drying, that happens. So no worries. We do guarantee between 8 to 12 uses out of all of our transfers. And they can be used on just about any surface you can think of. It's not just for chalkboards. You can use the transfers on burlap, canvas, paper, wood, mirrors. What am I missing? Chalkboards, galvanized steel, just about anything you can think of. And then you can turn around and use these same transfers. I could make a t-shirt with this lobster company, which would be super adorable, by the way. I could make a t-shirt using our couture ink instead of our paste. So you would do the process the same way on your shirt, and then I would dry it to just dry the ink, and then once the ink is good and dry on my shirt, then I would put a piece of parchment paper down and iron it on a cotton setting for 4 minutes on the front, and then put the parchment paper inside when you flip it inside out, and then iron it on the back for another 4 minutes on the cotton setting, and then it is permanent, not going anywhere. You can wash and dry your shirt and it will be perfectly fine. Here's one that I forgot to label, but I can see how it's shiny? So let's get that label before we forget. LBST, I forgot how to spell lobster for a second. Lobster Company. So I'm going to let that dry for a second because the marker is going to be wet. And then a nice tip for getting your transfers back on, especially the bigger ones, is kind of like what I did with the smaller ones. It's the same thing. Just kind of use your fingers or your hand to kind of guide it back on there. It's not ever going to be 100% perfect back on there, but if you can get it on there as close as you can, and then I just run my hands over it, all the pieces once they're back on, to make sure I'm not feeling any bubbles, because I don't like to put them back into the carrier sheet with bubbles. I don't want to run the risk of having anything happen, because I'm going to make more projects with this transfer. So we've got our last piece here. And I think I went off a little bit, but that's okay. And then, oh yeah, I really went off. Okay, so that's a perfect example. You don't want to have that happen where there's a bubble and then you lay it on something and something heavy maybe on top, and it's going to put a permanent crease in there. So you just have to be careful. I like to just get all those out. And the cleanup really wasn't that long, to be honest with you. I feel like it wasn't, but it's nice to get it all done and out of the way. And then we'll bring our project back in. And there we have it, guys. That's our New England Serve Fresh Daily Lobster Company. I think he came out super adorable. I thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in any of these products, I'm going to put the link down below. You can go check out our catalog and have fun. And if you see something you like, just add it to your cart and it'll ship right to you. And remember that on the back of all of our transfers, in case you get some products and you're like, oh, I forget. Everything's written right on the back of the transfers to help you and guide you in caring for your transfer. So no worries there. All right, guys, have a fantastic rest of your Friday night. Enjoy your weekend as well. I will be at an event tomorrow, so I will come back live on Sunday at some point. Hopefully some early Sunday morning chalking. Bye, guys. Talk to you later. Be safe.